Hi, I'm Carl Azus. First up this Monday on CNN Student News, Mexico has weathered a monster of a storm. Late last week off its western coast, a system named Patricia spun up to Category 5 hurricane status. That is the most powerful category on the Saffir-Simpson hurricane scale. With sustained wind speeds of 200 miles per hour, Patricia was the strongest hurricane ever recorded at sea. It had weakened before making landfall Friday. Though it was still a Category 5 at the time, and though it still uprooted trees and triggered mudslides, Patricia's direct hit was a mountainous area that wasn't densely populated, and several Mexican officials were saying God protected their country. One factor that caused this thing to grow so powerful so quickly was a natural weather phenomenon called El Niño. It has caused ocean temperatures near Mexico to rise 2 to 3 degrees warmer than usual. And warm water is fuel for hurricanes.
If we back up a bit, the warmest waters on our planet right now are off the coast of Mexico. They're calling this a miracle. The most rapidly developing tropical system in history, going from a tropical storm to a Category 5, makes landfall at Category 5, and there are no fatalities being reported right now. Mexican civil defense doing a great job evacuating the coastland. The port is now open in Puerto Vallarta, but it thread the needle. Sparsely populated area, 100,000 in Manzanillo, 400,000 live in Puerto Vallarta, and no fatalities coming right in between it. Just as we have seen this become the most rapidly intensifying storm, it's now the most rapidly dying out storm. No storm at Category 5 has dissipated to this.
The Oklahoma State Cowboys kept their undefeated football record Saturday, beating the Kansas Jayhawks 58-10. But the Cowboys' victory was marred by a tragedy that happened a few hours earlier. At the Oklahoma State University homecoming parade, a car plowed into the crowd. 4 people were killed and 47 others were treated for injuries. Police in Stillwater, Oklahoma say it was apparently because of a drunk driver.
What was meant to be a celebration Saturday morning turned into a horrific scene. Authorities say a driver sped through a parked police motorcycle and crashed into a crowd of spectators at the Oklahoma State University homecoming parade. What eyewitnesses say they saw, clearly chaotic.
This car just went in through the crowd, just burst into the crowd.
A crash reconstruction team now trying to figure out exactly what happened and asking for anyone with video or information to come forward.
It's just a horrible incident. It's very unfortunate that we have to do this. Just work through it as expeditious as we can and just keep the family of these victims in our prayer.
The driver, identified as 25-year-old Adacia Chambers, is suspected of drunk driving and arrested at the scene. The university president said he struggled with the decision to go on with the homecoming game, but ultimately decided not to cancel. Players knelt on the field before kickoff to honor the victims, and the flag was lowered to half-staff.
The Oklahoma State homecoming parade is probably one of the most wholesome, happy events in the country, and to have it fouled like this and these victims, this terrible tragedy. We reach out and embrace the victims and their families.
Sarah Ganem, CNN, New York.
A little more than a year away from the 2016 U.S. presidential election, there is one fewer candidate in the race. Former Rhode Island Governor Lincoln Chafee withdrew last Friday. He'd served as a Republican U.S. Senator and then an independent governor. He'd hoped to win the Democratic Party's presidential nomination. But Chafee was having trouble raising money and competing in the Democratic field. His withdrawal leaves 3 Democrats still seeking the nomination. For the Republicans, there are 15 candidates still in that race. From Alaska to Hawaii to Taiwan, today's roll call rolls all around the Pacific. Nunam-Ikwa is in western Alaska. It's where the Foxes are watching from Sheldon Point School. In the capital of Hawaii, we heard from Governor Wallace Ryder Farrington High School. The governors are presiding over Honolulu. And in Nantou County, Taiwan, hello to all of our viewers at Putai Senior High School. Thanks for taking 10 minutes for CNN Student News. Monuments, museums, buildings, and bridges. More than 200 of these landmarks were illuminated in dozens of countries over the weekend. The reason? UN Day. The United Nations had a birthday on Saturday. October 24th, 2015 marked exactly 70 years since the UN's charter was ratified. So why are all these places lit up in blue? It's the official color of the United Nations, a global organization whose goals include peace, human rights, and economic development.
It's the United Nations, meeting place for most of the world's countries, from the most powerful such as the United States, China, and Russia, to the smallest and most vulnerable. The UN has been involved in everything from assisting refugees to negotiating peace among nations. The top official is the Secretary General, a position currently held by Ban Ki-moon of South Korea. The SG serves 5-year terms, and Ban is in his second go-around. Of all the languages in the world, the UN uses 6 to communicate: El Arabiya, Chongwen, English, Francais, Ruski, and Espanol. In some combination of those 6, the UN deliberates on global issues. For judicial matters, they look to the International Court of Justice. The Economic and Social Council, otherwise known as ECOSOC, deals with, you guessed it, the world's economic, social, and environmental issues. The Trusteeship Council helps countries become self-governed and independent, while the Secretariat, another part of the UN family, tackles day-to-day issues that include keeping the press informed.
Where I'm standing is one of the more recognizable places in the UN, the Security Council. It determines threats to international peace and works to solve those problems right here in this chamber, a gift from Norway in 1952. And on top of that, this council selects the Secretary General,
who is then formally appointed by the General Assembly, the main representative body of the UN. The GA, as it's called, meets from September to December every year, but the world's problems don't exactly follow the calendar. The UN has to operate year-round.
By the 2030s, NASA is hoping to have astronauts on Mars, but it's going to need a vehicle to get them there. And the SLS, the Space Launch System, is the program that aims to build the rocket. Costs are estimated at about $22 billion to start. And though there's plenty of debate about whether the mission would be worth the money and whether there'd be any practical benefits to Earthlings, the program is moving forward.
For the first time since the Apollo moon landings, NASA is preparing to send astronauts beyond Earth orbit.
This critical design review is a critical step in progressing toward manufacturing of the rocket, preparing for assembly, integration, and test of the rocket. So it's really a part of history. It's really an important time and an exciting time as well.
Fly Exploration Mission 1, EM1, and then after that we start putting people on it and heading out to places that people haven't been for a very long time.
Over the years, we've seen many examples of how animals and technology sometimes don't get along. In the right corner, weighing in at maybe 8 pounds, a cat. And in the left corner, making its mark on paper, a printer. These two archenemies take their time, kind of feeling each other out. No one too quick to throw the first punch. But after some close observation, strategic planning, and a good old-fashioned stare down, cat wins. Now you can decide whether the cat had just claws, whether it really made an imprint, whether its victory was paper thin, but the sight of it sweeping the machination. The unanimous decision, a technological knockout. I'm Carl Azuz for CNN Student Mew.